Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Mike's E-Keys for cars, GT Car and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling, Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE, the Midtown Family Restaurants, Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City, Diamond Dream Sports Academy, Senior Benefits, Premier Automotive in North Liberty, the Oxyoke Inn in the Amanas, Streets Maintenance, Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. Tom Suter is here, Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com, and I'm going to start off before we go to the coach by apologizing. I've got to get out of here today early, so we're not going to be able to go as long with
Coach.
the show, with Coach or the show.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, joining us now is Coach Don Patterson. I guess close but no cigar is the way I would put it with the game Saturday, and the Indiana game was close but no cigar, and the Iowa State game was close but no cigar. So looks like that may be the story of this season, because we're not going to be able to get to the playoffs, and but we can still win a lot of games. We can still get anywhere between 6 and 10 wins, and let's hope they get closer to 10 than 6. Your thoughts, Coach?
Well, you've heard me say before, Tom, that great teams are defined by their ability to win games that are very much up for grabs. So you have to say we're a good but not a great team. Great teams find a way to win those games too. And I give Oregon credit for surviving a little better than we did. I thought it was a game both sides could be extremely proud of. And I was asked the day before the game, what do you think is going to happen? And my response was, I think it'll be a fight to the finish. And that's precisely what it was.
Well, it sure was, and the field conditions were fine. It was rainy, it was chilly, but it wasn't windy. I didn't think that played a huge factor.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you're right. I thought it was interesting. You might have noticed they won and they deferred. Of course, at that point, it was a no-brainer to take the ball to start the game, and that meant for the second half, they were going to take the ball. And I was curious what Kurt would do, and he did what I thought he would do. He chose to kick into a slight wind. But I do think the wind was stronger in the fourth quarter when we got the wind. And maybe that was helpful when it came down to that 58-yard field goal. But the bottom line, I give the kicker credit for making a clutch field goal into a slight breeze.
Yeah, it went right through the ice.
It sure did.
Yeah. I was just curious if any of them were close to being missed, and the answer is
no,
not really. None of them were that close to either upright. The last one was a little bit left middle, but still a good solid kick. There's no doubt it was going through when you saw it fly the ball.
Yep.
One of the interesting narratives after fans are pissed off at the defense for not getting that last stand. I get it. Same thing happened against Indiana, but like what I wrote yesterday, and I know I talked to you briefly yesterday, Don, without the defense, they're not even in that game. And the 3 losses that they've had this year, Iowa scored 13, 15, and 16 points. The other team has scored 16, 20, and 18.
Yeah.
The defense, they did have a bad moment there at the end, and they did get rushed on, but the defense is still keeping this team in games. It's like now the offense gets a free pass almost. It used to be the laughingstock, and now everyone's all pissed off at the defense. Don, I'm just curious your thoughts.
Well, it's I said, you might remember me saying this, or maybe not, Pat, but I did say, I'm just talking about analytics for the game again. I looked at our 5 conference games and their 5 conference games, and only 2 parameters were 100% win. And I'll tell you what they were. One of them was turnover margin. No surprise there. The one team that was able to beat us prior to Saturday was Indiana, and they were the one team that beat us on turnovers. Mm-hmm. And the one team that beat Oregon was also Indiana. And again, Indiana was +1 on turnovers. I did say this at the luncheon on Friday. I said, we have to win on turnovers. That's a given. We have to win on turnovers. Because if we're even, I don't think even's going to be good enough. And at the end of the game, we were even until the last kickoff with little or no time left. After the game, I saw the stats and I saw 2 fumbles. I can't remember a second fumble.
I did the same thing.
It was the play at the end of the game. Yeah, they counted that. And that was the correct interpretation.
Yeah.
It was a fumble. Yeah. And they recovered it. And, of course, even if we didn't fumble, we were not going to be able to score in those last few seconds.
I mean, obviously, missed tackles were an issue. They've been an issue at times. And the linebackers, I mean, without Nick Jackson and Jay Higgins, there's been somewhat of a drop-off. But still, I think the defense as a whole, when you hold teams to 20 or fewer points, you would like to think you'd have a chance to win. They've had a chance to win.
We did have a chance.
They had a chance to win, but it's not like the offense is lighting anything up right now. I mean, that's still the inability.
We couldn't run.
Couldn't run. They averaged 2.3 yards a carry. Oregon averaged 7.2. That's offense.
There you go.
So, Don, do you think, did they stay with the run long enough, do you think? Or because there were some plays that worked. It seems like they had better success, Don, running between the tackles, and then when they tried to go wide, it was going nowhere. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we didn't get a lot. And they just pursued really well the ball. And the bottom line is they control the line of scrimmage better than we did.
Yeah.
And
both sides.
That's true on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
They ran the ball. Some people would say they ran it down our throats.
And their running backs are good.
Their running backs were real
good.
Those
running backs are outstanding, yes. Now, I charted 13 missed tackles. I would imagine our defensive staff probably charted more than that. But the bottom line, it is difficult to tackle on a wet day. The analogy I'll use is, you've heard that expression, it's hard to catch a greased pig.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you got a wet uniform, it's a little tougher to hang on to that uniform if you're trying to tackle someone.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take anything away from our tacklers. They did the best they could. But I choose just to give a lot of credit to those backs.
Yeah.
Our backs are good. Their backs are better.
That Noah Whittington?
That's the truth.
Yeah, he was terrific.
5'8", 203 pounds. And there were times where it just came down to an individual play. That's not coaching in those moments. That's just
He just
talent.
burst through those holes, and he was already at the second level before we even knew where he was.
Yeah, and there was a lot of times where he would elude a defender, and it just, I was impressed. What do you think, Don? Is Oregon better on offense or defense?
That's a tough call. Well, let's also acknowledge this. They were without one of their best receivers.
Two of their best receivers. Don, they were without their two best.
Without their tight end, who's an outstanding player, and without the right tackle. So, truthfully, in terms of injury, we had an advantage going into the game.
Yeah.
So, hats off to Oregon for being able to win in spite of a few injuries. Again, that's what good teams do.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to survive the day despite a really noble effort on our part. And they have to say they deserve to win. Here's the bottom line. If you get outrushed by 160 yards, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we were outrushed by.
Yeah, well, outrushed and lose the turnover battle. Because I wrote going into the game that the Iowa offensive line, this was their moment. And they did do a decent job of pass protection.
They did, and I know it happened early in the game, but the safety was the margin of victory. And if that safety hadn't have happened, then everything else the same. We kick our extra point, and we're ahead by 3, and they have to score a touchdown at the end instead of a field goal.
Well, let me be really specific, Tom. You're not exactly correct. You're generally correct with what you say. But it's even more pronounced than that. Let me explain. Let's take away the safety early in the game. Okay? And what follows the safety? They score the first touchdown, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They would have kicked their extra point. They would have had 7. And then, as I recall, the next score to happen was our touchdown, our first touchdown. We would have had 7, logically. Mm-hmm. We're just presuming, of course, that all the extra points would have gone through if the safety hadn't happened first. Here's what I'm saying. We had 2 touchdowns and a field goal. In normal circumstances, that would be 17 points, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay, they had, before their last drive, they had a touchdown and 2 field goals. Normal circumstance, that would have been 13 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
The score would have been 17-13 without that field goal.
Right.
We wouldn't have been sitting on 16, we'd have been sitting on 17.
Yeah.
And they would have needed a touchdown on that last drive, not a field goal.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I don't think they were going to score a touch. I mean, they ran the ball well, but they didn't. I mean, they scored 18 points.
Yeah.
Iowa did a good job of. They did way too much bending, but still, had somebody told you, Don and Tom, going into this game that Oregon was going to score 18 points, how confident would you have been that Iowa was going to win?
I would think that it was going to be a nail biter, which it was.
How about you, Don? But didn't you pick Iowa to?
I ultimately did.
What was your score?
Enough to hold them to 18. I thought that would be enough.
Yeah, because I picked Iowa to win 23-21.
I had a 21-17.
So that would have been enough points for.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, there's blame to go all around. I'm just surprised at
Exactly.
how quickly they've turned on Phil Parker, and they can't win the big ones. Blah blah blah. Well, like what you said at the beginning of the show, Don, they're a good team. They're a very solid team. They're not a great team. Indiana's a great team. I mean, and so what is preventing them from being a great team? Because it seems like with Kirk, real good is kind of the ceiling. Every once in a while they flirt with great. And, sort of the same thing with Hayden, too. Hayden had a lot of really
very much so.
You know what I mean, Don? Why is it hard for Iowa to be elite?
Well, it would help if we had elite players. And in so many cases, we have truly outstanding players.
Oh, sure.
But I know somebody pointed out that Oregon had 80 guys that have been recruited in recent years that were 4- and 5-star athletes.
Yeah.
And Iowa had 14 or whatever the number was. But I made the point, a lot of those guys that were 4- and 5-star players have been bust. They haven't come through. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. And then you have other guys that were only 3-star players that end up as consensus All-Americans. So it's just not how many 5-stars can you get, because we do a great job of identifying guys with the extra heartbeat, as Hayden used to call it. And Kirk thinks that same way that we always thought under Hayden. Get the guys that are not just good competitors, but great competitors. And of course they have to have talent, but they also have to have high character. They also have to have a lot of grit, a lot of mental toughness. And we recruit guys like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes those 3-stars end up playing like 5-stars.
Oh, yeah, and I think Iowa's
Well,
I think Iowa's one of the best at doing that. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
But
absolutely.
Ohio State, Notre Dame, those schools that consistently win, they get the 4 and 5 stars and win. Aren't they winning because they get the 4 and 5 stars? Ohio State,
I think one way to say it, they have a little more margin for error than we do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ohio State's loaded with 4 and 5 stars, and they're one of the best teams every year. Same with Georgia. So, I mean, go ahead.
Well, here's one of the queries I had for the game. I made this comment in the Legend on Friday too. I said we need to be sure. I said Oregon's too explosive. They're going to make some explosive plays. But let me qualify it again. Explosive simply means more than 20 yards, 20 yards or more. But I said, one goal for the game on Saturday, we got to be sure that we only allow explosive plays and not super explosive plays.
Yeah.
And super explosive, of course, is 30 yards or more.
How many of those did they have?
They only have one super explosive play all day.
Well, the
And that
quarterback.
was an unlikely play. I give them credit. They ran their quarterback, and they don't do
That was
that
a great
as often
call.
as we do.
Yeah.
Great
But
call.
it had great effect. It was worth 49 yards.
Yeah, no, they completely fooled the Iowa defense on that one. And it did look like he pulled up, and some of the Oregon writers were thinking that maybe he tweaked him up. But like you said, Don, I think he realized he was not. Lutmer had the angle on him. Eventually, he was going to push him out of bounds, and I think he just kind of stepped out of bounds. But that was a good call. So, how do you think Gronowski played? How would you overall rate his performance?
Well, you always like to say this. Performance should be especially emphasized in moments of high pressure. And if you want to talk about high pressure, we're 93 yards
Yes,
away
sir.
Yeah.
We had to go score a touchdown. And even though there was time on the clock, there was 8 minutes plus left, the way Oregon was possessing the ball, I felt this is our last opportunity. And I think Kirk felt that way too. And we burned a lot of clock going down the field. But here's my point. Mark played his best when it mattered the most.
He did.
On that last drive.
For sure.
And it's interesting you said, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you've heard me say before, great quarterbacks, when it comes down to one play, their pulse rate goes up ever so slightly. And I think Mark's in that category. He doesn't get flustered with the biggest moments. Matter of fact, he might play his best in the biggest moments. And that last drive is a great example. One play that just amazed me was our 40-yard pass to Benami.
Yes.
The reason it amazed me, I was amazed that Mark was able to find him, because I don't think that was really the design was for him to slip behind that safety and catch a deep ball. That's just what happened. I'll start off by saying our O-line gave us great protection that play.
The whole
But
game.
the other point is that Mark didn't panic, kept looking, and found an unlikely receiver over the top of the defense.
Did he slightly?
Go ahead, Pat.
Go ahead.
Did he slightly underthrow him? Because there's people up there saying had he just hit him in stride, it would have been a touchdown. I mean, I know that's nitpicking because.
Well, yeah, I think the better example, you've heard me say this before, and it's a true statement. I was reminded of quarterbacks, if there's a guy open deep, the biggest mistake you'll make is to overthrow him, because that leads to nothing but a lot of frustration. So make a safe throw. If they have to slow down a little bit, it's still a huge gainer. You got me?
Yeah, no, okay, that's what he did.
Gainer. So don't overthrow. For God's sakes, if anything, slightly underthrow, just on the side of caution.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than a ball that's slightly overthrown. Here's another prime example, and a really well-designed play. You give Tim a lot of credit for it. You remember the deep ball it was to Gill, right?
Yeah, I think so.
38 yards. Here's the beauty of that play. It was a wheel route, but it started off as a drive route.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain. Gill was on the right side of the formation.
Yep.
The first thing he did is spread across the field on what we call a drive route.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got to the other side of the field, then he turned up the sideline, and that's how he got open over the top.
That was Mark's best
He
pass.
was behind.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful play.
He was behind the defender, and again, the big mistake would be to overthrow that route that took a long time to get down there. Mark made a safe throw. He had to wait for it just a little bit. It still set up a touchdown. I'd rather have a ball slightly underthrown. I'm saying if a receiver's wide open, if he's got separation, which Gill had, you have the luxury of making a safe throw. You follow me?
Yes.
The guy can't catch up to defend the pass. He may catch up with our receiver, but it's still going to be a huge gain. And the only crime is to overthrow a guy that's open deep.
Yeah, no, it was a really good throw. And I made the mistake as a reporter of assuming that Iowa – I was pretty confident they had won the game after they scored that. I just didn't think that Oregon was going to go down and do what they did, but they did. So I had about 4 or 5 paragraphs written about Gronowski, I mean, being a winner. Just the fact that he's not a great passer.
But you're not wrong about that.
Yeah, but he's also 6-3.
Oh, no, you're right. That's
I mean,
right.
you can nitpick. He's also 6-3, and they've lost all their big games.
That's true.
And he hasn't thrown for 200 yards. You can go back and forth on Gronowski, but I do agree with you guys.
Today you can say this. He did his job.
He did.
I know somebody said, correct if I'm wrong, we scored on third down. Is that right?
I don't.
No, that was fourth down.
Yeah, I didn't bring my stat sheet in. I forgot.
Keyshawn was fourth down, right?
Mm-hmm. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't have my stat sheet with me.
Yeah.
Let me be sure. Yes, it was fourth down. The earlier play was the third down to Benami, the touchdown.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Then Benami had it. Yeah.
That was a good throw.
So, yeah, somebody made the point toward the end of the game. It was a game on who was it? It was an NFL game, I believe. I know it was. Somebody yesterday, you could commented on it even. I believe it was Tony Romo's game. He said that is a really unusual situation. And the point he pointed out, there was an NFL team down the goal line, and their coach was communicating, don't score.
You're talking about the New England running back.
And the quarterback did kick the ball. He really didn't try to gain any yard. But you shouldn't do that because there are no guarantees on fourth down, right?
Right.
And in that case, Tony Romo said, that's a really bold move. I know what he's thinking. He's thinking we got to burn more time on the clock because if we give them too much time, they're going down and beat us at the end. But you simply shouldn't take that chance. You better score. If you score on third down, you better do it.
Well,
because just to burn that down for no reason other than burning clock, it could cost you the game, of course, because now you've only got one opportunity to score rather than two.
There was also Travion Henderson, who now plays for New England. He broke off a long run, and, man, he's having a great season. But he looked over towards his bench as he was streaking down the field, and they told him to go in and score. He was thinking because it was late in the game, they were up by, but then he allowed. It was just funny watching him run away from these defenders and then looking across the sideline to see, and his coaches told him to go. Okay, I wanted to ask you, we haven't talked about the USC. I don't want to keep sounding like gloom and doom, but there's a likelihood they're going to be 6-4 after 10 games.
Would agree with that. You never know.
You never know. Well, I wouldn't be stunned if they won at USC.
No.
But
I'm glad you brought that up, Pat. I would say this. To those that want to say that we blew it, here's the reality. We could have beaten Oregon on Saturday. That's true. But that doesn't guarantee at all that we go and beat SC.
No, exactly.
No.
So my point is, for God's sakes, let's not think this cost our season. There's still a lot to play for, and we're out of the playoff hunt. But we might have been out of the playoff hunt next weekend anyway, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying even if we beat Oregon, we still have a huge hurdle to beat SC next weekend.
And
my pick for next weekend is probably going to be ideal playing conditions, and that favors SC over Iowa.
And then the other thing is, I looked at Nebraska. I think they might be better with this
that
backup
quarterback was terrific.
The fact that he is a really good runner, and I think I don't know,
he
Don.
was terrific.
I think they're a better team with this backup quarterback. As straight. Have you seen him play at all? T.J. Lateef, I believe is his name.
I haven't seen. I saw just a snap or two of last Saturday's game. I will get the 60-minute version off of the BTN and watch it. But I did see his numbers, something like 13 for 15.
Yeah.
For 205.
And he can run.
He's far away a better runner. I'm sympathetic about Rayola. The only problem with Rayola, he's not mobile.
No, and he sits in the pocket forever.
A liability in terms of pass protection.
Yeah, he gets sacked a lot. Yep. And then Nebraska also has maybe the best running back in the Big Ten in this Emmett Johnson. This kid is incredible. So yeah, I don't want to be too gloom and doom, but this is a critical. If they go 6-4, Tom, what's the mood going to be out in hockey?
Well, the mood will be
they won't have a bad loss.
The mood will be, well, they better beat Michigan State and Nebraska. 8-4 would be okay. I mean, not great, but okay.
And then if they go and lose a bowl game, they have the same record as last year.
8-5, and then there will be some grumbling.
Well, you're right. 6-3 is not what people want. But here's the rest of that story: 3 losses by a total of 10 points.
Yeah, to 3 good teams.
We were on the verge of being called a great football team.
Yeah.
We simply didn't quite get there.
Yep, that's right. And we're still looking at. We can win 6 games, 7 games, 8 games, 9 games, or 10 games. So we don't know. The verdict is not done yet. We don't know
what's
going to happen.
What's crazy is, they could do that, win out and go 10-3, and they'd have the same record they had with Deacon Hill at quarterback 2 years ago. I mean, it's pretty interesting when you think about it. So, Don, I'm going to ask you, how surprised were you that they couldn't run the ball? And what do you think? J.J. Patterson got in there, ran twice for 10 yards, and then did he play again? I don't think he. I thought he maybe.
He didn't run again.
He didn't run again. What? I mean, do you think he got hurt again?
I don't know. I was curious about all that. And Kamoy is a very good football player.
Oh, he's a really good football player.
But if you really want to just analyze the strengths and weaknesses of our running backs, you might have to give a slight edge to Jazz in terms of yards after contact, or hard yards, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
hard yards, yeah.
And then Xavier too. Both of them are just a little bit bigger, pack a little more punch than Kamari. Obviously, Kamari overall might have a slight edge, but when you're trying to get the hard yards, and the running lanes maybe aren't quite as good as what you'd like to have, there is an argument for sure to spread out the carries a little more than what happened on Saturday.
Okay, yeah, because
Even them up a little bit.
Yeah, and I thought the Oregon backs, like Tom said, there's lots of times they got to the second level with good blocking, but there were also times where they just made great individual efforts and shed tacklers, eluded tacklers, and what's interesting, we talk about all these 5-stars. If I remember correctly, I looked on there. I believe that Noah Whittington is a transfer from Western Kentucky. If I'm not
That's
mistaken.
correct.
So there's talent. There's talent all over the place.
I'd say he plays like a 5-star.
Yeah, and he sure does. I looked at 5'8", 203 pounds, and I will give Don the play where TJ got beaten, and you were glad that Kirk brought it up, and I was too. Kirk really, TJ Hall defended on that play about as well as you can. That was an incredible throw, and maybe even a better catch into a tiny window.
Yeah, you're right. The one mistake, the one thing you're looking for that TJ didn't do on that play, he was in phase with the receiver, but we used to say, when they look, you look. And, of course, he didn't get his eyes around. The ball just whistled right there over his shoulder. And if he would have just gotten a split second time to see the ball and pass the ball, might have been able to get an arm up, get a hand up, and tip it away. Didn't happen. He couldn't have thrown it much better than he did.
No, it was great.
It was a great throw and a great catch.
Yeah.
It was outstanding coverage, and yet that alone doesn't guarantee. Here's another example. How about the catch Indiana had in the back of the end zone?
Omar Cooper, incredible.
Penn State.
He got both feet in.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, he got both feet in. That was amazing. And see, remember one of Moore's other good throws was early in the first quarter when he threw to the guy, I can't remember the other guy's name, their second best receiver, who caught that 20, and then remember he got hurt and he never played again. So they were without DeCory and Moore, and then that guy, I can't remember his name, but
Bryant.
Right, yeah, and so they were without those two guys, and it really did affect their passing attack. I mean, I thought Iowa's pass coverage was good. Oregon's passing, though, other than when at the end, they didn't do a lot of passing. Well, you could argue because they didn't need to.
Because they didn't need to.
So the difference was Oregon won that game being one-dimensional in a lot of ways, and I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think that could happen.
But they were controlling the line of scrimmage.
But they found a way. But, yeah, and Iowa's pass protection I thought was incredible. Gronowski had just tons of time back there to throw.
And so did their quarterback.
Yeah,
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so it was
Both quarterbacks had good protection.
Yep, they did.
Yeah, they really did.
They really did.
But
part of our problem, of course, is we never made Moore uncomfortable.
No, never put a glove on him.
We tried, but we simply couldn't get to him. He didn't throw a lot, of course, but when he did, and here's an irony for you, there was one other parameter that was 100% win. Kind of an unusual one that we might win. It's called yards per passing attempt. Going into the game, looking at all the Big Ten games we both played, they averaged 7.7 yards per attempt. We averaged 5.9. I even made this point last Friday at the luncheon. I said, I don't think we can beat that against Oregon, but we at least need to be more competitive than 7.7 to 5.9. Here's an irony for you. We're the team that averaged 7.7.
Yeah.
They averaged 5.3.
Yeah.
So that violated the tendencies because that parameter up until our game was 100% win. 10 wins, no losses. The only two games out of those 10 games where the other team did better than we did, or better than Oregon did, was Indiana in both cases. Indiana beat both of us on yards per passing attempt. And so in that regard, it was 10 for 10, 100% win. Now, of course, throwing our game into the mix, it's no longer 100%. Because we had the better yards per attempt, and they won the game.
Iowa had two super explosive plays, the one to Gill and the one to, wouldn't those qualify as super explosive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, they did have an edge on us on explosives because they did have 4 plays in the 20s, But I made this point last Friday, too, at the luncheon. I said, we're going to give up some 20-yard plays, no doubt about it. Oregon's that good. We just got to be sure that 25 doesn't become 65 or 55.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a good job of that. You know, we held them to 20-something. Only one play went beyond 30 yards.
Yeah, had you told me again, 18 points and less than 400 yards offense for a team that averages almost 500, I would have really liked Iowa's
But
chances.
what if they told you that Oregon runs for 256 or whatever it was, and Iowa runs for...
Well, that's not reflective of the Iowa defense. I know. I'm talking about the Iowa defense, saying that the Iowa defense did its part. It's not the Iowa defense's fault that the running game didn't produce.
No, it's
and
not.
Everyone's blaming the defense when there's plenty of blame to go around. The running game, to me, that's where the loss started. Now, I will say the defense, the 19-yard touchdown run by that running back, that was bad tackling. That guy, and it was also an incredible effort. The one right in front of the Iowas, but you remember that one,
Yes.
Don?
Yeah.
That was a great run.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's the truth. You know, here's the truth on analytics. If you outrush your opponent, historically in the Big Ten, if you outrush your opponent, I guarantee you win 85% of the time. I'm sorry, let me qualify that. Outrush your opponent by more than 100 yards.
Mm-hmm. And
because I've done the numbers. If you outrush them by any measure, you probably win about 80. Right now it's about 84%, I think it was. But if you outrush by 100 yards or more, it's almost 100%.
Was it there?
It probably would be 100%.
Wasn't there a game against Minnesota where Iowa won despite that happening? Where Minnesota ran for a ton of
about 200 yards, I think.
And Iowa still won.
The game, but it got into. I think we might have had any number of explosive plays that made a difference, and I think. Maybe that was the Jack Campbell.
Yeah, it was the Jack Campbell game. Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah. Minnesota just ran up and down the field, and Iowa still found. Yeah, but you're right though, Don. It's very rare. So, and you look at moving forward now. Kirk's really good at 24-hour rule, whatever. They've got They have to run the ball against USC, or the same thing's going to happen. Can we agree on that? They have to run the ball on USC.
100%.
Don't you? I mean, and I'm not talking just Gronowski either. I think Gronowski's running too much, to be honest with you. Don, talk about the importance of running against USC, because that's where it starts.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'll say it this way. Oregon ruined our season, you might argue. At least, even the players would say, our goal is to be in the playoffs. So, yeah, this game broke our back. So one thing we can do, we can turn around and ruin Southern Cal's season. That would be some consolation, wouldn't it? Not to mention, we set us up for a chance to be 10-3. So we have a lot to play for. That's my point. I don't doubt at all that our guys will be ready to give a monumental effort next Saturday too. But the bottom line is, if you don't compete in terms of rushing yardage, you're going to lose. And the ball lies on both sides. You know, we need to do a better job of possessing the ball on offense with our running game. It wasn't good enough. Thankfully, the passing game saved us more than the run did. Right?
Yeah.
That made a big difference.
I mean, what we say, and it's right, that there's still a lot to play for. I mean, the playoff consideration is gone, but we can still put up a 10-win season, and I think that's a lot to shoot for.
Well, here's a guy that called in on Saturday night after the game. He said, I'm disappointed because my hope was we were running to Alabama in the playoffs and have a chance to get some revenge on our Iowa student athlete that's playing for Alabama. I can't think of his name right now.
Caden Proctor. What a silly name.
Proctor, yeah. And my point is, we still have a chance to play against Alabama.
We do.
So we're going to have to do it as a 9-3 team, and we're going to have to hope that Alabama stumbles down the stretch, so maybe we get them in the bowl anyway. Now, that's far-fetched. We're not going to probably have a chance to play Alabama, because I think they will be one of those 12 teams.
I don't think I'm in any hurry to play Alabama, but that's just me.
And my advice to that caller would be to move on from the Caden Proctor thing.
For sure.
Come on.
Yeah, but you get where I'm coming from. We can still have a matchup in a bowl game that has huge significance, and maybe it is a team it feels like they got cheated out of the playoffs also. So wouldn't it be wonderful to be a 9-3 team and play another 9-3 team with a chance to have a big bowl win? Somebody's going to have a 10-win season.
Yeah, if they go 9-3 with wins over USC and Nebraska, I mean, the Michigan State, to me, they're not a very good team. They should win that game. But if you beat Nebraska and USC to go 9-3, that's
on the road.
That's a pretty decent season. I don't care what the naysayers will say, no playoff or whatever. That's still now it's a big if. I don't think they're going to do that.
Think of it this way: at that point, Pat, if we could be 9-3 and win a bowl game, people would say we were 10-3. But here's the truth: we were only 10 points away from having a chance to be 13-0.
Oh yeah, the glass half full people.
What if
the glass half full people will be that? No, I get you, but the naysayers are the people. They'll nitpick and they'll say, well, we were 10-3 2 years ago, and the offensive coordinator got fired. I mean, so yeah, I get you, and it's going to be interesting. I don't think they're going to go out to the West Coast and lay an egg. I mean, and because they've done that, guys. I mean, I know that Arizona State game was 21 years ago, but. They just don't play well on the West Coast.
We did at Arizona. I was at that game.
Now, there's one common theme with all these teams they played against on the West Coast. They've all been good teams. That Arizona State team that year was pretty good.
Yes, they were.
And so, Don, what do you expect? Do you expect do you expect a spirited effort?
Well, here's my hope. You've heard me say this before. Sometimes you get incredible scores because one team shows up the following Saturday in a very angry mood. Let me give you a couple of examples. One you're familiar with, after we lost to Ohio State, we had Illinois 49-0 at the half. Remember that? But here's one on the part of Oregon. Oregon was unimpressive in many people's eyes when they lost to Indiana. And you remember what happened next, maybe. They go 3 time zones to play Rutgers, and they put up 750 yards offense.
Yeah,
I think they were in a revenge mode when they got to Piscataway, and they took it out on Rutgers. My only point is, I think we might see the best version of Iowa football next Saturday. Absolutely. I know that's a lot to ask because Southern Cal's not exactly chopped liver. Southern Cal's a very good team with a lot to play for, but I think you might see an Iowa team that's got a point to prove, too. And I really think we're more likely to get that than we are to get an uninspired Iowa team.
USC's defense.
I just know so much about our players and coaches.
USC's defense is not as good as Oregon's defense either, especially the run defense.
Exactly.
I watched.
I think it's entirely possible. Oregon decided we have no choice but to try to run the ball down Iowa's throat. They didn't run down our throat, but they were effective with the run game. We have the same kind of mentality against SC. We got to find a way to run the ball a little bit down their throat. If we can pull it off, that's what we need to do.
Yes, and not just with Gronowski. I mean, if Jazz is healthy, Jazz, and get them all in there and let them run, because that's what I thought was the weakness when I watched USC. They're going to score points. I mean, they're going to score some points.
And we have to, too.
And yeah. I mean, now if Iowa can hold USC to 18 points on Saturday, you think they're going to win?
They should.
Here's one reason, Pat, you say that about SC. You remember what happened to them when they played Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, they got thrashed. Now, Notre Dame's got maybe the best rushing attack in the country right now, but no, they got thrashed.
But the point is they're vulnerable with their rush defense.
Well, Illinois beat them.
Yeah.
But now, granted, that was in Champaign. That's a big difference. If this game was in Iowa City, I'd be much more confident about Iowa winning, just like I was so confident about beating Oregon. I picked Iowa to win. No, I wasn't that far off. None of us were who picked Iowa to win. So, but yeah,
I'll make this comment. I think beating Oregon's a tall order, and then it's not going to be easy to beat Southern Cal either. But I'd like to find out. In my mind, it's a little more doable than it was to beat Oregon.
Yes, I agree. I just wish it was here. I think that makes a big difference.
I agree.
Will you guys forever remember the name Atticus Sappington?
Oh, I don't know about forever, but
when I saw that name, I just thought that's an unusual name for a kicker, let alone Atticus Sappington. But I'll give him credit, man. He was money.
Wisconsin has a kicker named Atticus also.
Do they really? That's right, they do. Bertrand. Yeah.
Didn't I read this somewhere? His long for the year was 42.
42. Yep, and then he made that.
I give him credit on a terrible day to kick. He was at his best.
Yeah, no, he was. I mean, And I got the back view of the 39-yarder to win the game, and you could tell right when it left his foot that it was. See, when you're in the press box, you can't tell. You know, the best angle for those is, of course, being behind the situation and what have you. And let's see, before we wrap up, because I know Captain said we got to wrap up a little earlier today because he's got to get out of here sooner. Around Iowa State had a nice win down at TCU, and that's good. That makes Iowa's loss look a little better. They're now 6-4. That was an impressive win. For anything in the Big Ten surprise you? I was not surprised that Penn State pushed Indiana. I thought they would. Penn State's the best winless team in conference play I've ever seen. I mean,
Yeah, I fully expected that would be a tough win for Indiana, and because Penn State's got good players.
They do.
That's the bottom line. They got good players. How about this? This was a little surprise. Wisconsin and Washington.
Yeah,
that was a surprise.
Washington also out of the playoff picture.
But maybe that Oregon game out there was not a fluke. Maybe Wisconsin, maybe something is starting to click a little bit because it's interesting that they had that strong performance losing, and then now they backed it up with this.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing that came up as I was working on the analytics. I've done all 7 games from Saturday now, or one from Friday night and 6 from Saturday. But the only parameter that jumped out at me that was a 100% win last Saturday was, and then I reflected back on last season, same thing happened last year in November. When the weather gets colder, it becomes more important to win on field position. Mm-hmm. Last Saturday, the team with better average starting field position won all 7 games.
Interesting. Wow, I would not have.
That is interesting.
I would not have thought that.
Now, with the warm weather in L.A., obviously, it's going to be a little easier to overcome field position just with explosive plays, because the weather's ideal.
Now, I did hear.
So that might not.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I did hear from somebody.
I was going to say that might not apply so much in the Coliseum as it would in the cold Midwest.
I did hear from somebody in the press box, I thought, that they've read where there's going to be potential for rain next weekend in L.A. Can you look that far? Can we look that far ahead? I mean, it does rain sometimes in L.A., but this person said there's, and I know I wasn't hearing things. I heard them talking that it may have been the Oregon people saying, well, there's going to be rain in L.A. next week. Now, if there's rain, does that help Iowa, Don?
I would say so, yes.
Because it would maybe slow the field.
Southern Cal doesn't play or practice in rain very often.
No, not very often. And they're like Oregon. They got a bunch of speedy skill players and what have you. And it'll be interesting. There was a decent crowd for their game. I looked at the crowd. But I think there's going to be a lot of Iowa fans at that game, too, don't you, Don?
There will.
There's going to be rain on Thursday, but there doesn't look to be any rain on
Saturday.
Okay. Saturday, high of 64, low of 52.
Perfect football weather. But I think there'll be 10 or 15,000 Iowa fans there, don't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And I don't know what else is going on next weekend in Southern California, but you know how fans are. There's just a lot of things to do if you're in that part of the world, so some people will choose to pass up on this game. If we had won, there'd be a bigger crowd, probably, bigger walk-up crowd.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because you got 2 teams battling for the playoffs.
Weather Bug says full sun, 63 degrees at kickoff.
That's
in
perfect
Los
football.
Angeles. Yeah.
So you said there's rain on Thursday? So, okay. Good.
And the other thing I noticed in really studying all the game sites, the Coliseum very seldom has much wind either.
No, you're right.
So it's not likely to be rainy or windy.
And that's what was so interesting about Saturday. There were times where I looked out and the flag was basically just limp.
Yeah.
It wasn't moving at all. And so, like you said, it was bad to be watching the game, and I'm sure it was slippery, but it wasn't like, I mean, it was bearable, right? I mean,
It was, but I was completely saturated. My waterproof shoes, when I took them off, my socks were sodden.
And imagine how those players were.
Exactly.
Now, it is amazing, though, how well the field's drained now, isn't it, Don?
Yeah, the fields do drain nicely. And I was trying to keep track of how the umpire, I just wanted to be sure I'm a little bit anal in this regard. I wanted to be sure that he was protecting our footballs when we were on offense as well as he was theirs. And I couldn't really detect the difference. Mm-hmm. You probably noticed they were trying to keep the balls dry as best they could.
No, they were.
But the reality, of course, is throwing a pretty slippery football. And for that matter, but the one thing I did wonder about the high snap, the first punt,
Yep.
I found myself wondering, did that snapper go to the bench and practice snapping with a wet ball before that next appearance for that second punt. And, of course, the ball sailed over his head. And that 2 points, you might say that didn't cost the game, but as I've already pointed out, it changed how the scoring would have likely gone. But it would have likely been ahead 17-13 without that safety, rather than 16 to 16-15, right?
Yeah, I felt bad. I felt bad for that kid. Kirk did say afterwards that he thought the wet ball had something to do with it.
Didn't help.
That's a transfer from Boston College. Is that it, Captain? Do we got to get going?
Yeah.
Well, hey, Don, listen, we do got to cut it a little short today because we're on a tighter schedule. But as usual, love your insight on this stuff. And one last question before we go. Do you think, I'm going to put you on the spot, do they run for 150 against USC? Do you think they get 150?
We better.
Good answer.
There you go.
Okay,
Yes,
good
sir.
answer. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and I'll be in touch. See you. We'll talk to you again next Monday.
Good, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah, I forgot you had to get out of here. You have to get out of here early, so we're kind of on a tighter schedule.
All right. We'll get a break in here, and then we'll be back with more stuff.
1-800-800-ROSE.
1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country.
1-800-800-ROSE.
It's so easy. Just remember one number, 1-800-800-ROSE, your FTD florist.
1-800-800-ROSE.
Remember,
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do people call it the game, right?
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams of Dairy Brothers Ford talk about what here for you means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as a statement here for you, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
GT Carr, owner of Suple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Suple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Suple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit suples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246. When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at midtownfamily.com. The family's waiting for you.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy 20,000 square foot indoor facility holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier, for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Dear U of I, just a note to let you know if you're ever thinking about selling Kinnick Stadium or Carver Hawkeye Arena, please consider Hawkeye Title and Settlement. We're here to provide efficient, high-quality real estate title and closing services. Signed, Hawkeye Fan Forever, and send. Hi, this is Steve Anderson with Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Whether it's a large commercial property or if you're buying your first home, remember we're here to help. Hawkeye Title and Settlement Services of Iowa City. You'll love our team just like you love the Hawks.
Hi, I'm Jim Street, owner of Streets Maintenance. As a licensed, insured, and bonded master plumber, I specialize in all plumbing repairs, including but not limited to water heater and sump pumps to toilet and faucet repairs and replacements. As an Iowa City native, I know how frustrating it can be when any part of your plumbing system breaks down. That's why I only use trusted brands and quality materials. I offer same-day, next-day service coupled with a fair price. I also offer general services to mobile homes. For more information about my business, I'm online at streetsmaintenance.com and Facebook, or give me a call at 400-4483. 400-4483.
Streets Maintenance. Honest plumbing at a fair price. Hanging lights is a pain. Dealing with blown bulbs, dangerous installations, and the endless rat's nest of cords, there's got to be a better way, and now there is. Illuma Lights permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuma Lights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course, lighting for the best season, football season. The Illuma Lights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuma Lights LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. No more ladders, no more hooks, no more wifey's dirty looks. That's the song you'll be singing all year long with Illuma Lights permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Find out more at BigDogTek.net or call 319-395-0800.
Hi, this is Bill Leixnering from the Oxyoke Inn. The Oxyoke Inn is now serving daily. Our Oxyoke family is ready to serve you with the same quality of food and service you've come to trust since 1940. Now serving lunch, dinner, banquets, and carry-out daily with 4 portion sizes. Sundays featuring our famous brunch buffet. You can also order curbside carry-out and pies to go online and take the comforting taste of the Oxyoke home to your family's table. Visit oxyokeinn.com for hours, menus, reservations, carry-out, specials, and gift cards. From our Oxyoke family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon. Oxyoke Inn, in the heart of Amana.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Meteorologist Rodney Price, a sunny to mostly sunny afternoon with northwest winds a little breezy and highs in the upper 30s. Clouds will thicken up tonight. It'll stay breezy with a low in the mid-20s. And on Veterans Day, clouds in the morning giving way to some clearing with highs in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Westerly winds will develop. They'll stay on the breezy side. Warmer on Wednesday, sunshine and mid-50s. That's KCJJ weather. Right now it's 28.
KCJJ weather brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
And we're back.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. Wow.
Wow, what?
Well, actually...
yeah, where were you back there?
I was working our emergency alert system.
You bailed on us.
I didn't bail. I'm listening to the...
You left us with Don by ourselves.
What? I don't do anything in that segment.
I know.
So
we
anyway,
were fine.
Our EAS, our emergency
activation system,
whatever. Yeah, it died this weekend, and engineer Tim figured out with the help of the people that made the unit
that was the Jim Carrey character, wasn't it?
No, that was Fireman Bill. He figured out that it's the on and off switch, which the unit shouldn't have because you're never allowed to turn it off.
Anyway, no, that's funny.
So,
but how do you turn it on if it doesn't have an on and off switch?
It should always be on when you plug it in. You plug it in,
so it shouldn't even have a switch. Then is what you're saying.
So we're going to. Anyway, I taped the switch on. It wouldn't stay in.
So you were outside?
No. I was in the engineering room.
I went back there. How many times? I went back there.
I was in the transmitter room.
I know. I went back there 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I was behind the rack.
Oh, so you were way down and to the right?
Yes.
Because I said,
in the engineering room.
Did you hear me saying Steve? Steve?
No.
Oh, okay, because I went back there like 2 or 3 times because I knew you wanted to. We had to cut the show off early.
I know, but what's the difference? I don't contribute during that.
Well, no, we were looking for you to end the show because I thought we were on a street and I couldn't find you. I just think it's funny that you were there and I just.
I get that close to that big knife switch, that power thing, and I could end the whole damn thing.
Yeah, see, I didn't walk into the room far enough to see you. That's my bad.
Yeah. Anyway, I got it working until Engineer Tim can come here and solder around the switch.
Engineer Tim.
Hello.
Hello. I told my sister, I said, if it rains at any other football game like this, let's just stay at home in our own house and watch it.
It was miserable.
We had to sit and watch the whole thing on the big screen because the people in front of us stood the whole time, and even though they were a step down, they were still taller than us, and we couldn't see anything.
No, it was miserable.
And then sitting down and looking up, you got the rain pouring in your face, down your poncho, and I thought, good grief. And then at the end, I said, if I have to sit through this crap, we better win.
Yeah, well, we didn't.
So was there ever a time in the game when you wished you were at home instead, watching it?
100 times.
Oh, there were, okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, because even though I was dressed warmly and had a lot of water stuff on me, it was still miserable. And I couldn't believe some of the people in their sweatshirts and had no rain gear on.
Yeah,
they were wet before the game started.
I never got cold, but I was completely saturated. My feet got cold.
Oh, yeah. Well, my feet were... I wore real warm boots. Well, they weren't waterproof.
Well, mine weren't either.
When I got home, my socks were all wet. I had to take those off.
Yep.
And
it was miserable.
My sister and I were in the ramp, and it took an hour and a half to get out of the ramp. But we sat there waiting for the cars to get out, and so we had a little picnic lunch. But, all in all, I thought, This day is Dudsville.
Well, I can't argue with you. You know, it's one of those games. You invest a lot of time and money in going to these games. If Iowa had ended up winning that game, it would have been worth every nickel and every second of abject misery.
That's what we said. We were, and then when we left, we got in the elevator to go to our side of the ramp, and there was one Oregon guy in there, and he says, "I'm not going to say anything, people. You'll outnumber me. I'm not going to say anything."
He was wise.
And we said, "You're wise."
Yep. Yeah.
Well, anyway, you guys have a good day, and I noticed it's nice and sunny today.
Yeah.
And it was nice and sunny yesterday. Well, I don't know how nice it was.
It was
cold.
nice.
That women's game. What did you think of that women's game?
It was ridiculous.
It was a blowout.
Oh, my gosh.
To the
I
max.
thought we were going to beat them by 90 points.
They could have.
Only 76.
Luckily, no one got hurt.
Yeah, well, that's because some of the people they took, but some of those threes,
yeah,
I
no.
tell you, they were making some good threes out there.
Evansville is not very good. That's my take.
Oh, come on, Pat. It's early in the season.
Yeah.
Well, let's say Evansville was good, but we were much, much better.
They've had 17 straight losing seasons, I was told yesterday, and I can see why. Not that reflects on this team, but that's maybe the worst team I've ever seen.
But it was nice to see Molly.
Well,
yeah, that
yes,
was nice.
it was.
That was cool, and I loved the way Iowa fans embraced her, and I know she
They embraced her, and then afterwards, everybody that knew her hugged her.
Yeah, I just wrote that they treated her a lot better than they treated her team.
Boy, they sure did.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it was 29-10 after the first quarter. It was like
the 119
we
points.
almost got up there to 80 points.
Yeah, the 119
them,
points
so it was-
tells you all you need to know about the opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have taken some of those points and given them the football game.
Wish you could do that.
Yeah.
You work on that, okay?
Okay, I'm going to work on that.
All right.
Okay, we'll see you guys.
Okay,
Have a good day.
talk to you soon.
the media guys I talk to, a lot of them who get there early. You know, I'm notoriously late for everything I do. A lot of them got there around the stadium between like 11 and 11:30. They said it was traffic gridlock like they've never seen before. Just didn't move for 10 minutes, you know, just forever. I didn't leave my house until, what time was the game? I left my house at 1:45. So I get over that area about 1. I drove no traffic at all. Everybody was there. I had to sit for the red light to take a left onto Hawkins, then you take the quick ride into the new. Other than that, it was absolutely no traffic because I waited it out. But they said between 11 and 11:30, it was just gridlock. And when did you get over there?
But we left the house, I think, about 11:45, and went pretty much straight to our parking lot.
So you missed. You were wise not to leave your house, but you don't have to get You don't have to go close enough to the stadium to where you get caught in that main gridlock, do you?
No.
Where you park, you avoid that, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Because some media people told me they were just waiting forever to get through there because everyone was converging at the same time. And how was it getting in? Did it look like people sort of tried to get there a little early, even though it was pouring? Was there gridlock getting into the stadium?
It was a lot of people. There was kind of a crowd push to get into the arches, so you're not getting rained on. So there was some help from the people behind you.
And I did notice at times during the game, the north end zone, the club seats were not very full because all those people were probably inside watching. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and you said you're on the waiting list for that, right?
We're not. No, I'm not going to sit in the end zone. I don't like sitting in the end zone.
But wouldn't you have loved to have been in the club for that game?
No, I don't like.
You'd rather have the rain and be on the.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. See, I would rather.
No, I don't like the sight line. It's no fun.
I don't like the end zone either, but I could never stand out in 3.5 hours of rain.
Because it's the Jumbotron's too far, and every play looks like it's the 1 yard carry.
Remember that one network was supposed to get us the best seats
Yes,
down by
of course
the sidelines, and we ended up by the our backs toward the Jumbotron.
Yes, the south end zone.
God damn.
But what was that for? Was that for an Iowa game?
Yeah.
Thing I remember more about that is how cold it was.
Yeah.
Because we weren't dressed for it.
I left.
Well, we didn't leave, but it was...
Jan and I left.
Well, it was cold walking from my car to the arena yesterday. It was cold.
Yes, it was.
The wind was brutal. And where we park, we're walking right into that northwest wind, and it was cold.
I was colder walking to Carver than I was cold in the stadium.
Well, yeah, because you're surrounded by a bunch of people, and it was in the 40s.
And I was dressed enough where I didn't get cold.
And there was no wind. Yesterday there was a major wind throughout the day, and it was cold. It was cold. Now the arena was comfortable. The arena was hot for the first 2 games I covered, but yesterday I thought it was comfortable. And it was a good crowd. There was a lot of people there.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
I thought more than 10,000.
Oh, easily. I thought more than 10,000. Yeah, and now the women play again on Thursday. They play Drake. The men don't play again until Friday against Xavier. So there's actually no press conference or anything today. It's kind of that last week was a busy week.
It was a whirlwind, wasn't it?
And then the team playing out in L.A. It's like I said. How confident they're going to win?
Not at all.
I'm not that lacking.
I'm not saying we can't or won't.
I'm like 65-35 thinking USC is going to win.
I mean, my confidence level. If we get in a close game, I'm not confident we'll make the plays to win.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd rather have the chance to win in a close game as opposed to if it's one of these. I just hope. It's been a while since. When's the last time? Well, I guess you'd say, when's the last time Iowa laid a serious egg? UCLA and Michigan State last year, both those games on the road.
Big Ten championship against Michigan.
That's what I would say, because those games against UCLA and Michigan State, those were both winnable games throughout. They just didn't win against 2 teams that we thought they were better
and we
than.
didn't play very well.
When I'm talking about laying an egg is, let's say, like they laid an egg in the Rose Bowl. I still don't think Stanford was that much better than that Iowa team, but they were that day. What I worry about, it's been a while since they've laid an egg. This team has not laid it. If they lay an egg against USC, it could be one of those things where they could be down 28-10 in the third quarter, and then essentially the game's over because they. So let's hope. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be close. I just am done. I picked them to beat Indiana, and I picked them to beat. I didn't pick them to beat Iowa State. I picked them to beat Indiana. And I picked them to beat Oregon, and so I'm done. I'm picking USC this. Now my feelings may change a little bit, but not enough to where I need to see them do something on the West Coast against a good team.
Well, and that's where I'm at too. And of course, it's 2 teams. We'll see how Iowa responds.
USC is not a great team. They're a good team. No. They're not a great team. They do seem to be playing better though as the season progresses, and their quarterback is healthy and good.
And they have some offensive weapons.
Oh, they do. They've got this running back. His name's King Miller.
Yeah,
he's really former walk-on. He is really good. And when I've watched them, they've had really good run blocking.
Yeah,
but I haven't been that impressed with their run defense.
No.
And maybe it's just me. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the stats, but. And I know I'm nitpicking and using hindsight, but I think Iowa kind of gave up on the run. And, part of that 2.3 yard carry average was they have 35 negative yards as a team loss, and that was from the snap.
Yeah.
So that affected the run. But I thought there were times when Kamari did get 5, 6, 7 yards, and it just seems like they didn't stick with it long enough. Like Jazz's 2 runs. He carried 10 for 10 yards twice. What's that average? That's 5 yards.
Yeah.
They were having moments where they were getting 5, 6, 7. I just didn't think they stuck with it. But, I could be, maybe I'm just an idiot.
I second the most.
So do you think people are shaking their heads? Yes.
Probably. I just think there's times where I thought they gave up on the run too early in the 2003 Orange Bowl.
Hello.
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 It's George.
Hi, George.
Hello. Hey, how are you? Hey, quick question for you here. What's the deal with the taunting of the team after the game? They came over to the north stand.
I don't know.
About that?
That sucked. I thought that was really low class, and I was really disappointed in the Oregon team for doing that. They did that the week before, too.
See, I didn't even notice it because I was busy doing other stuff. So
they did.
All the players went over to the north.
Not all the players, probably about 20 players.
Okay. What did they do?
Went over and taunted the fans in the north end zone.
Why the north end zone? That's not even students.
Well, I think parents. I think some parents are there.
Yeah, but how would the
I don't know if there were any Oregon players.
You're saying
that, but
no, the Oregon players.
Away from their,
yeah, but the Oregon players wouldn't know that's where the Iowa players.
Well, okay, you're not focusing on the right thing. The Oregon players went over and taunted Iowa fans, 20 of them after the game.
Okay, but you just said they did it because that's where the parents.
Well, I thought maybe that. I don't know why.
I can't imagine the Oregon players would know That's where the Iowa players.
Okay, I'm wrong about that. They taunted the fans, and I thought it was classless. And so does, I think George is making that point too.
Okay, yeah, I'm not saying it's not classless. I just don't. I didn't notice it.
Okay, you were working.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah, you were working.
Yeah, and you sound.
I wasn't working.
I don't know, but we don't. What were they doing? Because you didn't know what they were saying.
They just went over, got in people's faces, and they were. It was.
Well, they showed it on.
I've never seen a team be so obnoxious. I don't think
they showed it on TV, and one of the guys briefly, real quickly, commented on it.
What'd they say?
That isn't right.
Well, I didn't think it was either.
That's exactly what, and they didn't say any more than, some fans are getting in the face of.
No, like I said, that's not a good move.
And they just said,
and I know
right.
that's not where Oregon fans were sitting. There were some Oregon fans.
No.
Yeah, I know, but if you bitch and moan about it, it just sounds like you're bitching and moaning and your butt hurt because your team lost. Move on. It's not a good look, but they did it, and they were happy they won.
Well, celebrating.
There's ways to avoid stuff like that. You win.
Well, that's true, too. Yeah. I expect their team to celebrate after a victory like that, and they should. They should be happy. But, I just thought it was way over the top.
It's just weird that they picked out the north end zone. I would have, although how many students were still in the game I imagine this. You'd think they would have gone to the student section if they really wanted to taunt.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Yeah, so.
So, yeah, why they went to that particular section, I don't know.
And maybe there were some things said during pregame warm. You don't know. They're out there for a long time during pregame warm-ups. You just don't know. But yeah, that. I don't think an Iowa team would do that. I will say that. I don't think Kirk's team would do that. So that's not a good look.
It wasn't.
And again, I did not see it at all. But is that where the parents of the Iowa players sit?
I don't know.
Because why would they? Why would if you're a parent?
They just were there, and they just all. I
would understand it more. That being where the benches are, the people behind the opposing team are giving them hell all game long.
Oh, I would imagine.
So I would understand if they turned around and gave it back.
I would have understood if they went to the student section, just to taunt fellow students.
Hello.
Well, I was sitting in the north end zone, and it was a classless move by their players. You won the game. Congratulations. But that's not how you act.
Well,
I don't care. It's major college ball. You don't go up there and taunt just because you won.
Well, what did they say?
What were they saying?
Like you beat us by 40.
What were they saying?
You beat us by a damn field goal.
What were they saying?
What were they? Wasn't in overtime because we didn't make it 2 points.
What were they saying?
Yeah, what did they say?
I couldn't tell what they were saying. We were about halfway up, right behind the goalpost, and they were getting pelted, though. People were throwing beer at them, throwing soda. But, you shouldn't have been up there doing that to start with. Your bench is on the other side of the field. They were clear down into the northwest corner of the end zone.
Yeah, they were.
And taunting. And I get why they were there. It's because that's where the ball was kicked to. But still, that was, if the game had still been going on, they would have gotten flagged for taunting or, just for unsportsmanlike conduct. But, because the game was over with, no, there were no repercussions for them other than to make them look like a bunch of a-holes, which is what they were.
No, wait, I'm confused. The game didn't end near the northwest end zone. It was the game ended on the kickoff on the field, right?
No, but it was still where the ball was kicked to. That's where we were at is where the game-winning field goal.
Again, I'm confused.
Went back and they kicked off, but it was still a thing where
the kickoff,
that's where they ended up.
Okay, I'm confused again.
I don't know why.
Because the kickoff was fumbled at midfield, and the play ended right in the middle of the field, and you're talking about the very corner of the northwest end zone. That's not where the game ended.
No.
So I'm confused at what you're saying.
That's where they ended up, though, Pat.
Oh, I know that's where they ended up, but you said it's because that's where the ball was kicked, and the ball wasn't kicked there.
No, the field goal was kicked to there.
Okay, but they had already had a kick.
To where we were.
But the kick, there was a kick since then. So I guess I'm just confused.
After that.
That was afterwards.
I think what's important here is that the crowd retaliated.
Yes, I like to hear that.
And threw beer.
My guess is there may have been some stuff said in that section. There may have been some stuff said, and they went over to retaliate. But if you're
how much is a beer? $12.
The only
12,
thing it
13
could
bucks.
have been,
Okay.
Mr. Suter, is when their running back made that, what was it, like the 20-yard touchdown
19-yard, great
he
run.
went into that corner, and he came up close to the stands at that time.
Yeah.
And maybe something was said at that point in time that made them want to retaliate at the end of the game. I don't know, because
That's what I'm thinking, but that still
we
doesn't
were
justify it.
miserable, man. We were cold. We were wet.
No,
Even the ponchos weren't helping.
I mean, that could be it, but that still doesn't justify the players doing
But
that.
the fact that we took a $12, $13 beer
Good.
and dumped it on them
Yeah.
shows that
Yeah, there
we're
was
not
expensive
taking it.
stuff being thrown at him. But
Well, it wasn't
you know,
there-
All in all, it was. I thought it, and I still do. It was a classless move. I mean,
Yes.
it's not something. And I don't even think their coach made apologies for it. I don't think he said a word about them coming up and doing that.
He may not have even noticed
And
it.
it probably shows you where they're at.
He may not have even noticed it. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? I mean,
Well, looking when I got home and looking at, he was doing an interview right after the game with the woman reporter from CBS, and they
Uh-huh.
were down close to the other end of the field. So
Hell,
he
I
may
didn't
not
notice.
have seen what was going on. He
I
might
didn't
not have
notice it, and
seen
I was in the press
until
box
they got
right up.
home.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. So, but no, what happened, the way you guys describe it, that's not a good look for Oregon.
It wasn't.
And fans are going to retaliate. But my guess is something was said by some, and that it's been
Yeah, it was
building
strong
but
enough.
it still doesn't give them justification to go do that. That's
No,
not a
but
good look.
it was evidently something strong enough that they wanted to waste a $12 or $13 beer.
Well, I'm talking about what prompted the Oregon players to go to that specific area. I'm guessing something maybe was said, but that's fans being fans. They can say stuff. And
Yeah.
I still think you have to be able to control your emotions a little better. If Iowa had won out in Eugene, I don't think the Iowa players would have done something.
I don't
They
either.
would have went to their fans. Now,
And that's what they do.
And that's what, yeah. So, no, that's not a good look for Oregon, but I also think it's time to move on because it sounds like we're just kind of whining.
Well, fair enough.
Whining.
Because we're whining.
We're whining.
Well, I'm not whining.
No, you're happy that the beer was being tossed.
I just think they felt strongly enough that they wasted their beer.
Yeah, and now.
Well, at that point, they didn't need it either.
Well, when the calendar year turns over and their health insurance premiums go up $1,000 a month, they may not be wasting that beer. Hell, they may not even be in the stadium. So that's that will be interesting to see.
No, but that game was as close as I've ever seen Ann get to wanting to leave. At halftime, she was absolutely
Because it was just a
miserable.
steady rain.
Yeah, it
just
was
steady. Because I could see through the lights. It's hard to judge how hard it's raining from the press box. You just can't see. But the lights were on over by the hospital. That's where you could see it. I'm like, man. But it did fourth quarter. It let up. But that's when the wind picked up a little bit. When the rain. I mean, when did it stop? Where it was about midway through the fourth quarter.
It didn't stop.
But it was bearable. Kind of a mist.
It was better.
Is that when you guys started hugging and crying and just, we made it through, we made it, we made it?
Here's how hard it was raining. I got that cat box that I put outside with the opening in it that the cat could get in.
Yeah.
The raccoon was in there.
Well, how much rain did we get?
Serious.
How much rain did we get on Saturday?
I don't know.
We had to have gotten at least an inch, didn't we?
I don't know.
Because it rained throughout the whole game.
It felt like a foot, but I don't know.
And it didn't start really raining until, what was about 11 o'clock around my house is when it started to rain softly.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, the forecast pretty much proved to be prophetic. But at least there wasn't any wind. And Don brought up a good point, though, slippery jerseys and what have you. But that works both ways.
It does.
And the Oregon players, I'll tell you, that number 44 for Oregon, that linebacker, he's good.
He's tough.
Number 26, Betcher, he was also a really good baseball player. They've got good players, but that play, that 26-7-yard gain at the end that basically set up the field goal, that was one of the best executed plays that I've seen in a while.
It had to be perfect.
I was so glad that Kirk brought that up to defend TJ because TJ had a hell of a game.
And I don't know how you cover it much better.
If you do it much better, it's interference.
Yeah.
So, that's one where you just got to tip your hat to the opponent and say, nice play.
It was perfect.
The throw was incredible enough. I couldn't believe the guy caught it because his vision was impaired by TJ's body. He had such little time to react, and yet he caught that ball. It was incredible. And that Sam Phillips catch near the sideline
was real nice.
See, I wish they'd get him the ball more. But here I am nitpicking. It's easy to do with hindsight. I get it. I just and I get why they're doing this, but one question, I'll see if you agree with me. I think they're relying on Gronowski running too much. That's me. He took some shots.
He did.
And I don't know. I mean, this is his only. I know he's only got he's got 4 games left as a Hawkeye, so you may as well use him because this is it. So I don't know. I just
trying to win the game, and I guess.
But is he?
I know what you're saying.
Is he a better runner than Jazz and Kamari? And I know it's different when a quarterback runs because it's different formations too. Like on the quarterback draw. I mean, it would have been harder for a running back to score. I mean, Gronowski basically could walk in because Oregon bit on the fake.
Yeah.
So but I don't know. I still think when we look back at this season, and everyone's going to point to the running game letting them down in these 3 losses, but the passing game has let them down throughout the season.
It has not been good.
It hasn't been, and
it's never been good this
year. And when
year.
the passing game is like this, that puts so much pressure on the running game, and when the running game isn't just lights out, they can't win.
When was the last time our passing game was
Nate
good?
Stanley. I mean, Nate Stanley threw, but it was never great. I mean, and the thing with Stanley, he'd get 300 yards one week, and next week he'd get 60.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ohio State game, he went from throwing 5 touchdowns to Wisconsin. He had trouble completing passes.
I've never seen a Jekyll and Hyde turn around like that with the team.
Yeah, and Nate also played 3 years too. But he's got the longevity. But he threw 68 touchdown passes and had 8,200 passing yards. So, but he also had Brandon Smith, Amir Smith-Marset. They had pretty good receivers.
They did.
Some good tight ends. I just keep waiting for this passing attack to change under Kirk here at Iowa, and it's just not yet. It's still, I mean, early on in that game, they had some plays where the simple 5-10 yard down and out, he throws to like their feet. It's still so hard for them to sustain a pass.
Are our wide receivers getting separation? Can you tell?
I think it's a combination of things. Not consistently getting separation and not good throws.
Because Gronowski had all the time in the world
to throw.
All the time.
I mean, he would, because what they were doing, Tom, and a lot of, they were rushing, of course, but they were also holding people back for when he was going to run. And that I think there were times where they sacrificed rushers to try to keep Gronowski in front of them. He didn't run like he did against Penn State.
No.
But no, he did that play to Gill. That was a nice play. And when it happened, you were like, "My God, did you see that?" We were us in the press spot. We're looking, "Wow, did you see that? A forward pass." I mean, it's just so rare. That was a nice play. But most teams do those things routinely.
I know.
For Iowa, it's like the moon landing.
All right. Well, we need to get out of here. We have to say field hockey. Got an NCAA berth versus Duke. Iowa number 9 seed, Duke number 8 in the Chapel Hill Regional.
And they did lose yesterday, to Northwestern 3-0.
3-0.
Northwestern's really good.
This is the 29th time in program history they've made the NCAA, 7th time in the last 8 seasons, and the game is 1:30 Friday.
And it's against who again?
Duke.
Duke, okay. Well, there you go.
Now, the good news is North Carolina fans hate the Dukies, so who knows?
We got to get out of here, don't we, Captain?
Yeah.
We got a world out there waiting for you. You got a world out there waiting for you.
The whole world is out there.
All right, well, everybody, did I hear you guys say it's going to get in the 50s?
Tomorrow, 52.
God.
And then mid-50s and upper 50s. Friday, upper 60s, low 70s Saturday.
You'll have your air on by Sunday, won't you?
I have the air on tomorrow.
All right, everybody, enjoy your day. Thanks again, Don, for coming on.
Thanks, Donnie. Molly Suter is next, and HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you.